the same time you're dealing with Zoe and Thresh, so perhaps not. Probably will see a mix of boots on their side, as this is the very scary DAMWON composition.
Yep, they will have mid-priority here for DAMWON. Azir will be able to shove the Zoe in early, but it's likely that that will be alleviated once mid-game comes around, which is, of course, where Zoe does absolutely thrive. Looking at the dynamics comp, though, as we hop into game number 1, I'd like to dub this the, like, vision hacks comp. We could call it, like, the Black Sheep Wall, because they've got Tremor Sense, they've got Portal Jump from Zoe, which gives you a lot of added vision over walls, everything like that, and they've got Hawkshot. Like, they barely need wards. It's insane.
Yeah.
And if they're able to use Hawkshots effectively and keep Rich safe, then this Lucian will almost always know that Canyon's not around him and he can keep putting on pressure. And that's exactly what top lane Lucian needs to do. And remember, guys, like, this is Rich's pick. He was Lucian Aatrox 2-trick in Challenger. This had to be banned by, like, every single team. They banned these away because he was just too good. And we saw what Smeb could do on it. We saw what Canna could do on it. The top lane Lucian does have a lot of potential, but it's a huge coin flip. And Dynamics need to try and get the Lucian ahead in any way possible.
Yeah. And speaking of Rich's Lucian, just a fun stat. He has 12 unique champions played. He only has win rates on 2 of them. Lucian is one of them. The other one is Volibear. So
yeah.
He's 2-1 so far on the Lucian. We'll see if he can potentially stack up another win as DWGG Gaming.
No.
They never stop with the aggression, Atlas.
Yep, they're going to move in. They're going to find Beyond, who immediately flashes, and he'll lose his red buff. This is utter disaster for the early game of Dynamics, and really smart from DAMWON.
I thought Canyon was going to go across for a second. I'm like, this guy is actually insane.
Well, it is going to sacrifice lane just a little. You saw that Ghost and Beryl lost out on a bit of experience. But winning this jungle matchup is absolutely huge for everything that we spoke about before about the Lucian. I think, like, the top lane is going to be very, very important for how this game is going to go. Because if the Renekton gets too big, like, Dynamics are all squishy. Like, the Crocodile gets near anyone, he just eats them.
Oh, look at the pathing here from Canyon. He is going straight for his other red, but Beyond is coming in here at the same time. He's not at full health.
And Tremor Sense hasn't actually been activated yet, unless Canyon was just out of range.
I think now?
No, he doesn't have the skill.
Wow.
He doesn't have the skill.
Right.
So he actually can't utilize it as Canyon's going to land the spear.
He has no flash, remember.
Yep. Pounce comes forward. That's a really good interrupt, but Showmaker's here. Doesn't have Shifting Sands yet, remember, guys, but Beyond is just going to get pounced on by Canyon. It's just a matter of time. Red buff's there. Smite comes in. Canyon's going to land a spear onto the blue buff. As there it is, first blood, as we expected, and the Tentacle Monster comes out. Vel'Koz represent.
He's already leashing the blue as he's chasing down Beyond for the kill.
It's like Beyond was a Gromp, and he was like doing the double leash.
He's just farming both of them at the same time. Just Canyon things as... Oh, man. Beyond goes for the risky play, and he gets caught out there. And you can see he was very tentative about getting in, as the hook is going to get flashed.
Yeah, Ghost is going to do a bit of damage to Dr. but as you can see, the Ashe very strong at this stage of the game. And Beyond now still level 2. He's taken 1 camp. And now it looks like this Rift Scuttler might be helping him get back just a little bit. Great reaction there from Rich to relentlessly pursue backwards. I know that's the wrong way of saying it, but that's a proper noun.
Pursuing his safety.
He's pursuing the reverse direction.
Yes.
Pursuing the wall. His
like
own
this.
turret. Yeah, holding the minion wave.
And then he just decides, actually, never mind.
It is going to make sure that the wave is on his side, but he'll be able to build it up. And I guess maybe if Beyond's going to look for a gank, or a dive, stacking the wave will be a good idea. Let's see whether that is what Rich is going for here. Because that will eventually push back recovery.
You can see here some of the stats for the Team Dynamics picks. Obviously, Kuzan has played a lot of Zoe himself, as here's the gank.
Yeah, Beyond's going to come in. Beryl does have Eclipse as he's looking for the stun onto Dr. That's a great step back, though. Guga did use his flash, but that's a very easy kill. DAMWON suffer one on the bottom side. They are still ahead in gold, but anything to get this Rek'Sai to some point where she's relevant is important, because at the moment, struggling a whole lot.
Yeah.
4-0 for Canyon, 2-0 for Noguri. Showmaker's first Azir game. That's crazy.
He sees Keria and he's like, well, I want to have a lot of unique champions myself. let me play Azir here. Azir, obviously, quite good into the Zoe with the portal jump back to handle that, and Emperor's Divider. As this was just a really nice setup gank. I think that DAMWON didn't really have the lane in position to get vision down. So with no flash on Leona, you're just a sitting duck. Even if you are a little bit tanky, you're still not going to have a fun time if it is 3-on-2 and you have no vision. And Rek'Sai has that unique ability to go over the wall.
Yep,
As
flash immediately from Rich. Not wasting any time, but that is still a successful gank. This is exactly what we're talking about. Canyon had to be there, at least at some point before level 6. And he made it level 5, but beyond. Looking for potential gank himself. Noguri moving out of the way, and level 6 is very important to try and stave off ganks. He's not there just yet. There's the Zenith Blade. Cougar actually getting taken down very low. Hook comes back. Max range onto the Leona, but Piercing Darkness is going to be there. And Ghost will be able to just go into the Shroud, and he'll be absolutely fine. As Docdom and Guga are actually having a really good time here in this lane. We've been very critical of Docdom, especially. Good to see that he's performing decently, at least so far.
Kuzan is pretty aggressive in this lane. He's got Beyond's nearby, as looks like we're all grouping up for a potential dragon take here, but Canyon and Beryl want to try to shut it down. They're not going to be able to, as the Scuttle Crab is taken away. And Canyon looking for something to do. Not quite going to get on top of Kuzan as he's spotted on the ward. The top lane seemingly very even. You see it's pushing into Rich, but he's behind just a bit on CS, so very, very even in terms of the CS numbers up in the top side. And again, that's what Renekton can do. That's part of the reason why we see him more often. As here we go.
Yeah, that's the all-in from Noguri. He's doing a lot of damage here to Rich. The culling comes out. Noguri's going to back away. So R buttons traded for R buttons. But remember, Noguri has flash. And he is definitely eradicating this lane of any Lucians. He's going to look for that back. And as soon as Noguri gets the Ninja Tabi, that's when it's sort of time for him to start going in and going aggressive. But this is a disaster. No teleport on Rich. And he's now trying to make his way back with just a longsword. He did not want to be backing then. And it just shows, like, you just need to have some sort of advantage, get to around level 6 or 7, and then these all-ins from the Renekton can work for a few levels at least. It's just the danger of this top lane Lucian that just requires you to keep the pressure on so much. It's almost like both of them are pretty similar situations. Although I feel like the coin flip is a little bit larger for Lucian.
Looking to potentially get the flash away from Kuzan, but Guger is there. Rift Herald just spawned, so that's why Guger and Beryl have rotated up to the top side of the map here. I think with the jungle control that DAMWON have right now, Dynamics might just want to give away this objective, but we see that they're all grouping up here. Beyond's not even level 6. So I'm not really sure if Team Dynamics can force a fight here and win it, as Canyon very confidently just going to start up this objective.
Yeah, Rich is going to make it down to the river, so theoretically there is a little bit of lane priority there, but Noguri, he went back, Ninja Tabi done, as well as the Vampiric Scepter. And he's also pressed the attack Renekton. We've seen a few of the Conqueror varieties, but he just wants to do as much damage as possible. His bubble's not going to land onto Beryl. Very skinny is Leona, apparently. And that is free Rift Herald going over to DAMWON. And I think that all stems from the level 1. Canyon being able to find that advantage, being so much stronger. Noguri getting chunked a little bit here, but has Dominus available yet again. Still no flash for Rich.
Noguri missed 2 CS in a row. He's only looking for the trade.
Yep, there's the slice and dice. Piercing Light comes in. That is going to be the full culling, but avoided. And Noguri grabs the solo kill. That's what happens when you have flash and your opponent doesn't. The Renekton is going to reign supreme here. Now 20 CS in the lead. He'll crash it into the turret and grab some plates as Showmaker shifts the sands, and he'll be absolutely fine. And Rich's famous Lucian Not really working out so far this game.
Yeah, he was set pretty far behind after losing the trade just before, and with no flash, as you mentioned, he is not going to be able to get away from that Renekton. So you just got to play safer in that moment. But as Lucian, that's kind of the last thing you want to do. You want to have lane
You're not allowed
priority.
to, right? Yeah.
But it's like, it's a lose-lose, right? It's like
갑자기 이겨와.
either you die like this.
잡았어.
Nuguri says, I got him.
앞을 빠지고 잡았어.
I used my flash. Wow, down in the bottom lane, Ghost is dead.
He is. He didn't use his flash, as now we're looking for Rich yet again. Yep, Spear is going to connect because it's free. And yeah, the Mika really being culled up here.
You see the sad B?
Yeah. Sad B is the saddest, man.
It makes me feel bad when I kill people and they throw out the sad B. It just feels like bullying in that case.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what it's feeling like up towards the top lane. The Crocodile and the Kitty Cat. Really putting that pressure on. And this snowball is really starting to become a problem. There's a Drake that's going to be taken as an answer, but giving all of that money early to the Renekton means that his relevance is going to stick around for so much longer. Not going to be a lot of opportunity for Rich to try and exert his pressure, as his Blade of the Ruin King is on the way, but he has no boots. The Ninja Tabi that Nuguri put together early, definitely doing work.
Yeah. I think he's one of the players that should pick up the Ninja Tabi as he's going up against the Lucian. We'll see how many others do get it. We already have Leona picking it up, but notice that the Merc Dreads up against the Zoe lane is there for Showmaker.
Also having it against Ashe is a good idea as well, so you can certainly understand that.
And Thresh and all the other stuff they have there. As I'm going to take another look here at the bottom side play, as they know Gugar's in the brush, but they're still standing nearby and they just get hooked. It's the cleanest, most straightforward Thresh kill that you've ever seen.
And we've gone from one very understandable kill on the bottom side to another one up towards the top lane as the sad beat comes out again, and we're sad all over again.
Yeah, DYN is really trying to force this mid gank onto Showmaker. He knows what happens if you leave Showmaker alone. Probably a pentakill sometime in the mid game at about 21 minutes, and then the game ends. So he's trying, but he's not finding much luck. As Showmaker also has his flash still, so that gank is just not really going to work.
These are looking like some gold numbers from old DAMWON before Ghost joined the roster. Is Guga going to get slowed? There's the flash forward from Beryl. They're going to land a spear, but the Zenith Blade came down because, of course, he held on to it. Guga goes golden, and now in goes Beyond, but he's mega squishy. Canyon not going to be taken. And Docdump, he does eventually find the kill under the Nidalee, but Ghost now trying to trade back, and Showmaker slides on in and collects the Ashe for himself. Now, Kuzan here trying to tidy up. I don't think he's going to be able to. Beryl was lit on fire with a counterfeit ignite, but that's going to be about it for Kuzan.
Yeah, nice start there from DAMWON. It was a 3-on-2 to start. Kuzan's got to be careful. He does have that W flash, so he's kind of recklessly portal jumping forward, but still Emperor's Divide and Flash available on Showmaker. So he's just going to sit back, wait, and farm under the turret. As Gugar had flash and stopwatch, and they were still going for that play onto the Thresh, which I thought was kind of interesting, but they didn't want to have him save the Ashe. Here we go again.
Oh my god, Nuguri damage! And Beyond, what are you doing here? You can't fight this huge crocodile. He's level 11. He's 4 levels ahead of the jungler.
It's Godzilla.
It's so Showmaker. Yeah, he's absolutely Godzilla. This is, now it's so funny because Smeb seems to have found success on both of these picks, the Lucian and the Renekton, in recent times. But it is definitely his example of Renekton play as Guga. He's going to come in. They're going to force Canyon out, but Canyon did manage to grab the Krug as Docdum gets chunked about half by one spear. Rod of Ages completed at 12 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
13
Canyon,
maybe for Canyon.
Canyon doesn't go for the, Unholy Grail or anything like that. He goes straight for the scaling the damage, stacking fun as, wow, that was a nice bubble. He somehow knew that Showmaker was backing in that brush and was able to keep him here. As here's another replay. You see that Canyon is on vision. So Guger, I think, probably shouldn't be up that far, but he knows he has flash and stopwatch with Beyond coming, so he's like, maybe we can turn this around. And Kenny gets extremely low. Notice how he survives here. The quick heal into the swipe. Eventually does go down, turns into a 1v1, or a 1-for-1 rather, as DWG is kind of left out to dry. Not much that Guger can do as he was so low. This is Rich just kind of face checking, getting burst 100-0 by Godzilla.
Yeah. This is like, I don't even know which version of Godzilla this is, like the scariest one. Not the one in the most recent one, because Godzilla seemed like a good guy in that movie. It was
Yeah,
one of
that's weird.
It was one of like the 90s Godzilla, where he was just 100% evil monster of doom. Yeah, he's Nogari's massive. Level 12, highest level in the game. He's ahead of Rich by 2 levels.
Yeah.
And he's keeping up all of this pressure. Probably holding onto a lot of gold as well as Kuzan. He's going to get out of there.
Yeah, used his own heal, it looks like, as Shirley going to be dropped down here in the mid lane. And they're just, they're kind of bullying Kuzan out of this one, as Beyond is so far behind that he can't do anything. He's 3 levels behind Canyon right now. I mean, he's just non-existent after the way that the early game played itself out.
Yep.
Where at level 1, he got his buff stolen, and then he tried to invade without flash and got killed. So it's kind of a 5v4 at this point in time. Very unfortunate for Beyond, because Canyon has, Guger didn't even realize that that wasn't his turret.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, let me just push up. But that was the sand or the sun turret.
The sun disc, as it were. It is going to be taken down there by the Thresh, as the arrow is going to connect onto Ghost. Teleport comes in from Dynamics. Double teleport immediately to follow up, as Ghost will probably not. He's not going to die. They're going to back away too early. And Showmaker and Nogari come in to save. Their little AD carry here towards the bottom side. Okay, in goes the Zenith Blade. Solar Flare landing there, as well as the Zoe's going to be the first one taken down. Beyond has about 2.5 health, as he's going to get the heck out of there. Showmaker still has Emperor's Divide, but not a lot of health bar, and Nogari as well. He's got a massive bounty. Rich looks for it, but the volley is going to ring true. Rich grabs a kill off the back, and Dynamics are turning it all on its head. Canyon can't find the spear, and it was just a little bit too much there for DAMWON.
You know, DWG, we don't talk about him too often here on this Team Dynamics team, but he gets a winning bot lane for the first time in a while, and he was able to carry really hard in that last fight. As DWG, they don't want to give this one up. It is a 3-on-4. They're thinking about going for the fight here.
Yeah, they're not done yet. Spear is going to come through, but it's not going to be able to take a Drake or anything like that. And that is going to be the second one taken here by Dynamics. 2 dragons to 0. This could be something that Dynamics can hold on to as they look for some sort of late game advantage. I mean, their team doesn't necessarily scale that well either. They've got a lot of squishies. Does help the relevance of this Renekton stay intact for a long time.
Yeah. And let's take a look here once again. The nice setup, and then 5 bajillion teleports came in. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 from each side do get used, and it kind of, you know, we wait here. Nothing much is happening, but everybody kind of knows a fight is brewing. And then eventually, just the engage onto Kuzan. Really nice job by Beryl. They immediately take the Zoe out of the fight, and you're thinking, oh, okay, here we go. It's DWG again. But look at how DWG fights against everything. Him and Rich, the 2 of them are just like 2 turrets playing tower defense against the giant monsters that are Ghost, Showmaker, and Nuggery. And they just get kited down so well by the frost arrows. And you can see that Beryl and Canyon on the left, they're like desperately trying to get into the fight, but they can't quite do it, really. And they're the 2 supports that are supposed to, you know, heal their front line.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, but they were kind of separated there. DWG probably playing that one a little bit too aggressively, trying to force it. And the kiting was so effective that Showmaker, he had his flash and his ultimate available, but he could just never find a good place to use it.
Didn't want to flash underneath the turret there as Rich. He's under his, but Solar Flare's going to get a nice slow. And Canyon, he'll make it out. Beryl as well, soaking a lot of damage there with the Eclipse. And a few Primal Surges later, and Canyon will be back to terrorizing the jungle. Kuzan with some spare time here towards the top lane, and DWG and Guga in mid, wanting to get some work done on these turrets. But DAMWON, they're going to join this one very early. and deny any sort of damage onto the turret nicely. Showmaker splitting on the bottom side, and it feels like at this stage, if DAMWON has more players on the map than Dynamics do. And yeah, Showmaker not in any danger, but still decides that he wants to leave. Nogri picks up the minion wave that was delivered to him by Kuzan. And I think he went back and built a full Black Cleaver, as he's 64 CS in the lead against the Lucian. And that, guys, is bad news for the Lucian.
Yeah, definitely. And he's going to be frontline. He's going to be slicing and dicing and swiping, all the good stuff that Renekton does. So can try to stack up a little bit for Ghost, I assume. But at the same time, it's not really Ghost that's the carry on his team. It's kind of the Nidalee and the Azir at this point that are going to be doing the heavy lifting in terms of the damage. So maybe a different item could have been considered, as we're just kind of sitting here now. We're waiting for the Infernal Drake Soul that is coming in. Note that Team Dynamics got the first 2 Drakes in this game, even though DAMWON have been ahead for the majority of it. So they've been able to stack up a couple. This does mean that if the game goes the distance and DAMWON get 4 Infernal Drakes instead of 2, it's probably going to benefit them in the end. But we'll see how this one does play out.
Yep, for right now, those Drakes are going to be helping Dynamics just a little bit, trying to alleviate this 5,000 gold lead stat advantage. But as you can see, it's been a very sad Rek'Sai day. This game, sort of the lead that Nogri had, all stemmed from that red buff invade at level 1. Really intelligently done by DAMWON to navigate themselves to a point where they could get the Renekton into a great spot. Last team fight not working out here, but now they're just going to go for the raid boss as Nogri is spotted. DAMWON moving on over here. Canyon turns up, and they're going to continue. The rest of Dynamics moving forward. Of course, Vision not at a premium for Dynamics because they have hawk shots, they've got tremor sensors, they've got all of the different options. And so no sneaky Barons to be had here for DAMWON. Now Dynamics with the inside track on this inner turret, and only 36 seconds on the Infernal Drake means that maybe going for the Baron was a rough idea. Canyon going to get chunked a little bit by Kuzan, but no bubbles. Now this is going to be the fight, as DAMWON do not want to give away Soul Point to Dynamics. Too much of a coin flip.
In the fight, again, it's going to come down to Kuzan, Duckdom, and Rich trying to kite. I think that Beyond, still very far behind, is going to find difficulty finding too much efficiency and effectiveness here in this fight. But let's see what he can do. As Kuzan trying to poke it down to start us off.
Yep, Lantern thrown out. Now that's going to be on cooldown, as Guga also throwing the hook in there. Now DAMWON's turn to try and get some poke through. Paddle Stars being avoided, Bubbles not landing. That's good news here for DAMWON as they vie for position. Turret going to go down. I believe that was the inner in mid lane. As Spear also not connecting. The poke needs to happen. Both of these teams want to get poked down before a fight starts, especially Dynamics. They have 0 frontline. They're not going to be able to play front to back too easily. They need to have health advantages. As Nogri's found Rich. Oh no! And he throws out the culling as it is going to be secured by DAMWON, the dragon. But Nogri eventually gets on top of Rich. I don't know what his positioning was right there, but now the damage is going to be true from DAMWON. And regardless of any bubbles that are going to be landing, Kuzan is trying to get the hell out of here. Canyon trying to sprint after Beyond, who's getting hit by minions, and Canyon eventually grabs him. I believe that was a trap that, unbeknownst to Beyond, he just walked over. And DAMWON made that look so easy in comparison to the last team fight.
Absolutely. I mean, the confusing positioning out of Briggs kind of got it started on the 5v4, and we already mentioned how Beyond's not doing much. There was 0 inside track for Duckdom to do any damage. That fight looked entirely different to the one where Duckdom was able to get 1 million damage in a row. I mean, he sees the Renekton there, but still kind of gets caught out, and he even charges forward with Nuggery having Flash. He's got Flash of his own, and even on Vision, Rich gets caught out by that, not reacting fast enough. And then 4v5 over here, they were desperately trying to get in there and steal the Infernal Drake away, so Duckdom had 0 protection.
Trap. No!
Yeah, and that last, I love the little Pengu with the hat.
Yeah, right.
Top of the morning to you.
Just dabbing.
Yeah, and Also a little range minion getting some damage in, but yeah, that's kind of the way we expected these team fights to go, to be honest, and it did go the way we expected in that last one.
Ooh, very close to a steal with the volley, but Showmaker orders the Sand Soldiers to go collect himself a red buff, and they do so effectively. We had a look there to see that Beyond was the lowest level in the game.
Yeah.
Canyon's 4 levels ahead of him, now maybe 5, as the arrow is going to glide gracefully by.
It's 5.
Another one added to the ether of Runeterra. As we've just got too much pressure here. The Baron was the prize for DAMWON, of course, after that team fight. And I think everyone was expecting a game that was going to end similarly to this. But it was still just really intelligently done by DAMWON. I want to commend them in how they set up this sort of advantage, despite losing a couple of team fights here and there. All of the homework had been done, right? Like, it's just clean strategic League of Legends, as well as just being extraordinarily talented. As Kuzan, going to find a bit of damage there onto Beryl, but Primal Surge available to Canyon, as is the Piercing Darkness. They have a lot of sustain, actually, in this comp. And it's feeling like this snowball is about to hit the base of the mountain. Valdez?
Mm-hmm. The Avalanche is coming in.
Yeah.
It's going to crash very soon. And they've still got 50 seconds on their Baron buff, but it seems like they're taking their time with this one. Just waiting for the waves to push in. You can see that Rich is off in the bottom lane, kind of just pushing and farming by himself, but he's got to get back here eventually to help deal with the push.
Yep, he is going to crash that wave, so at least DAMWON aren't... Oh, no. Okay, not going to find the Dawning Shadow, so Dom will survive for the minute, but it does mean that this inhibitor will go down. Where pressure is given somewhere, it is given up elsewhere. And it was the top lane that did fall. Good hook lands there from Guga, but no follow-up. Just not going to be able to. Noguri sitting there at full health, 3,000 hit points. Beyond gets chunked. In goes Beryl. Solar Flare goes completely wide, though, as Beyond just cannot stand in amongst this fight. Beryl is punished for that poor positioning as Canyon goes golden. Ghost trying to keep Showmaker alive as Canyon eventually gets out of there, and now Noguri, the raid boss, trying to stand tall. Emperor's Divide lands only onto Kuzan, as Showmaker's had a bit of an off game so far, but still just standing true in the front line, as that's the snare. Guga will be falling here as Ghost is going to finish him off. And despite finding a few options in the middle of the fight, Dynamics just didn't have enough money to buy cool items to give them enough stats to win.
Yeah, they're going to push in here. The TP coming in. You see Beyond desperate trying to get the kill, but he just gets slapped down once again.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. It's just 100% bullying of the Rek'Sai as Rich is going to fall. That's Canyon helping grab that kill as Noguri collects it for himself. The big old Renekton doing a lot of work this game. Dom wants to try and save his Nexus for the minute as Canyon eventually does go down. Noguri decides that he can't get on top of the Ashe because she's too good at kiting, and he'll just win the game instead. So DAMWON completed, I believe, in sub 30 minutes. But in a few of those team fights, Dynamic power picks towards the bottom lane in the support position. Now a lot of pressure on Guga to demonstrate the same thing up against the far more, I guess, consistent laner in the Karma. As it is going to be the Croc in the middle. I like it a lot.
Yeah. And early on in the lane, Zoe is going to be... Oh, never mind. We're going to switch it up. The Croc is going top. And again, we did see the Croc do well against GP in recent times, so they're okay with that. They're going to throw Showmaker onto the Jace, which he shouldn't be any stranger to, even though it's, you know, not super often pick. He does have one win on the Jace so far.
Yep, played it a bit so far this season, but also played it a lot in previous seasons. I'll have a look at the stats exactly. It was him and Chovy that were really making the Jace mid lane look very, very strong. I find it curious that they didn't go for the swap, although I guess Renekton has a hard time locking down a Zoe, so maybe that's why. Just give Showmaker a little bit more lane presence. And getting lane control is definitely important in mid lane.
Yeah, the Renekton can have a fun time in the longer lane, like running down the GP. That's kind of what we saw the last time we saw this matchup, whereas the Zoe can kind of flash away from the Renekton and be okay and use her range to abuse, so... The Jace, definitely going to be a powerhouse in the mid lane. Don't sleep on that one either. As Cougar trying his hand at Lux. We're seeing this pick come in more and more often. Curious to see if he can effectively support the Ashe as well as he did in game number 1.
Yeah, his Thresh was very good, so certainly got his eye in. As DAMWON, we're all boosting it towards the bottom lane. They might find Cougar on his way in, who's taken Ignite on the Lux. Surprising, as I believe DAMWON do see the ward. They're unable to actually take it down, as they will just slink back into their jungle. So nothing, no early shenanigans here. As pretty badass skin for the gangplank towards the top side.
That's a very cool sword.
Yep. Just to check in with Showmaker and his Jace mid, he's 100% win rate over 3 games. In the LCK of all time.
Yeah.
Doesn't include Challenger, so we can't really go back too far. But yeah, definitely making things work. 11 KDA, if that means anything to anyone.
Mm-hmm. We have 3 Scorches here. This is something we always look for, but it makes sense for the Jace and the Karma. I feel the Zoe taking it is always questionable. I mean, there's going to be a lot of times where the Zoe can do some nice little poke, just like you saw there. But will it offer more than the Gathering Storm if this game does go later? And maybe he's saying, well, if we lose to DAMWON in the early game, we're probably going to lose the game anyway. So let me try to get an early lead and go from there. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, Dr. I'm actually utilizing this pressure onto Guga very effectively to get some damage onto Ghost bottom side. But you can see the minion wave in control of DAMWON. Something that you can certainly afford with the Karma, who will help push much better than a shield-first Lux. Dynamic's still going to have a fair bit of power, and their lockdown is going to be very reliable once they hit a few extra levels, especially level 6 for the Ashe. Okay, that's a bit of a miss from Beryl, and an opportunity here for Dynamics.
Yeah.
Ghost just getting whittled down by this bottom lane.
Beryl is not a Karma player. As we talked about, he likes Bard, he likes Pantheon. Apparently, he also has played Sejuani.
Yep, Poppy.
Yeah, Poppy comes in. He's got a lot of weird picks. Karma's not one of them. And it'll be curious to see how he does on that selection.
Ooh, okay. Nogri getting chunked here by Rich, who finds yet another parlay to the back of the Croc's head. And this is something that we talk about. We are going to have Cull the Meek for Nogri, so he's going to be able to manage his health bar quite nicely. And Rich has gone through all of his corrupting potions, so you can see that's probably why he's faring a bit better based on the health bars.
Early game, it's not fun for the Gangplank. As you get a couple of items, you can begin to poke a little bit better. Obviously, Parlay Harass is going to be nice, but the Renekton can shoot through that, as Canyon and Beyond have butted heads again here.
Yeah, Beyond does have the pillar on cooldown, but he will be able to secure the bottom Rift Scuttler. Canyon should be able to make it to the top one. As you can see, the Renekton moving on over to make sure that that can be a guarantee. Oh, actually, it's going to be the Krug camp, and you can see Nogri, he's actually going to take that one away for himself. So not going to let them get double scuttled. But Canyon wanted to be able to make sure that he got the full clear of his jungle complete as early as possible. As Showmaker, Kuzan just demonstrating some exemplary Zoe play in the mid lane.
Yes.
You pick up a redemption, and that's how you tell your opponent that you're just a better Zoe.
It's very true. Showmaker is a good Zoe in his own time. He gets redemption and Proto Belt very often.
All the time.
So Kuzan's, just trying to play up to his level, essentially, and doing a decent job of that so far with his first redemption.
Ow. Cougar taking a lot of damage there.
The Lux is really squishy, and the poke is going to be a lot more effective from the Karma. The level 1 and level 2 were definitely won because of the Ashe, but we'll see how this one does scale. As here's Canyon in the top lane again.
Yep, Nogri grabs that cannon creep, as now we're just looking for it. No oranges to be eaten just yet, and that is a very dead a very dead Gangplank, and First Blood once again hand-delivered on a silver platter to Nogri. I think maybe teams are going to have to consider banning away the Renekton Nidalee combo from this team, because they look like they're pretty consistent in getting these leads.
Yeah, and the fact that Nuggery is picking it so often really early as well is just showing that he's like, well,
I mean, this is the LPL strat, right? You pick Renekton super early so that you can counterpick for another lane in your last couple of picks in the draft. On blue side or on red side, it doesn't actually really matter. So that is a decent snare. Guga has to flash though as Ghost getting on forward. Flashing on in. Noguri is going to join the battle as well, and he'll help lock down Dokdam, but not before Ghost is eliminated. It's 3-1 in the end, but Dokdam has, like, his Ashe is good, guys. It's just unfortunate that the rest of Dynamics haven't been able to step up alongside him.
Yeah, it's very true. And Nuguri just all over the map once again. He's really angry he didn't get the player of the game in game number 1. He says, well, let me show you what I can do this time around, as he is making that pick look so strong here. He's going to lose some of this. It is a cannon wave, so he's not going to lose too much, but
he might lose a melee and maybe the cannon.
Yeah.
But I think otherwise it'll be absolutely fine.
꽉꽉꽉.
Says he doesn't have heal.
얘 망했다. 이거 텔 없는 건데.
Yeah, talking about the orange.
이거 좀 갈게.
Yeah. And that made it a pretty straightforward kill. I think even if GP has oranges and flashes away, I think he still dies, to be honest. They could just follow up flash. He was so out of position.
If the next spear lands, then absolutely.
I mean, even if it doesn't, he just like came in behind and started autoing him, and he was so low already. It was he was so far down the lane that he was just really, he felt too safe because of his ward. And
also really desperate to get the lane crashes. Noguri back towards the top side. A couple of extra daggers here building towards his Blade of the Ruin King as he's going to zone the gangplank away from his barrel. And Spear will connect Canyon once again, hanging around top lane as this wave crashes in.
I want Barrel to play GP one game.
All right, the Renekton's going to start this one off. We'll see whether they can actually get it in time as Noguri's slicing out. And Tribute's going to keep him alive. Cannon Barrage. Just, yep, unfortunately, that ship just a bit late with its cannons. And this is over. This top lane is just SOS in every single way possible.
Yeah, it's definitely looking a little bit scary for the GP. This is what can happen.
All right, Beyond is going to find Canyon here, flashing out. Press the attack trundle, remember, and if you're in melee range, it's a rough time as Noguri is doing his best Singed impression in between the turrets.
Oh. Poor Rich, man. He's losing so much CS. It's 80 to 36. He's got less than half.
And he has nowhere near any items. He has a Fairy Charm. Yeah. What is this going to be? Tier Gangplank? Just to represent his feelings? I don't think so.
Just stack the tears and sit in the fountain.
Yeah, it's one of those items that you can just build, by the way, guys, just for the extra mana regen, and then you sell it. The resale value is actually not awful. If it's going to help you stick around in lane a little bit longer.
And Nuguri has a completed Blade of the Rune King at 8 minutes. So this lane is over, okay? Even if Beyond is there, they can probably 2v2 die, okay? This is that level of over.
It's 2,000 gold in the lead. He's got, his lead is almost as much as all of what Rich has.
Yeah. It's,
that's like double his gold. Oh, God.
It's pretty gross up there in the top side.
Mega gross.
And you can see that Beyond, yes, he's going to come in here. It's going to be 3v2 down the bottom side. He will take the red, but
Arrow.
That was
okay.
A little bit strange. They're never really going to be able to jump the wall there. As meanwhile, always look at the minimap, guys. Canyon's up here. He's doing the Rift Herald. So this is an amazing trade for the side of DAMWON, even though Team Dynamics did get the Cloud Drake.
Oh, God.
Doesn't really matter.
Blade of the Rune King active still available here.
They're going to dive him again, I think.
As Rich misses a cannon creep to add insult to injury.
Nuguri's pretty low, but...
Yeah, there's the Dominus. As we get the slice,
no.
There's the dice, and there's an extraordinarily dead Gangplank. This camp is just not what you want. As Showmaker going to move real fast with that phase rush, flashes over the wall. Kuzan going to follow him. And there's the flash, picks up a whole bunch of sparkles. As Kuzan, he is going to burn down. No! The last tick wasn't enough, and the Zoe survives.
Well, for now.
Canyon, Spear is going to land onto Beyond. Almost gets him with the Runic Echoes. As, yep, there he goes. Falls down in the end as now Canyon looking for the double kill. He should be able to. Subjugate does come in, though. Spear connects, and yep, that's the execute. Meanwhile, Nuguri's taking inner turrets top lane.
Look at the top lane.
Oh my God, it's so over.
Hey,
Errol's gonna die, so there is a consolation kill in the bottom lane. As I think this was the duo queue DWG and Gugu, they were the duo Q
Yeah.
on the red side this game. And
Up
they're
against
like,
Nuggery
guys,
and Canyon.
just stop dying and we'll carry.
Well, they're up against the better duo Q that's actually smurfing in silver.
Yeah, exactly.
Up here in the top side. As Rich is, I mean, at this point, it's like you can't even be under turret.
This
he
is
don't even need Canyon. He does it alone.
Yeah, it's the essence of Dyrus treatment, man. Like, it's just so rough
Yeah.
for this guy.
This is a nice follow-up. I mean, Beyond's looking for anything that he can get. He knows the top lane is done, so he's not even going there. And actually gets a nice little kill here on a Showmaker, but then they know that the Nidalee is fast, and they try to back here in this brush. I think they should have just gone mid and tried to run as... Oh, Beyond died.
Yeah, he's dead. We don't need to play-by-play that one, I don't think, as Canyon gets chunked by Kuzan. Kuzan, another quiet performer here, as DWG is going to find Beryl. Hawkshot spots him out, as now Canyon looking to try and steal away this blue buff, and without the jungler, I think they will be able to do that. Showmaker looking for some plates in the mid lane. Just, he needs to set the table for when he gets home, potentially fairly early once again.
Yeah.
Here for DAMWON.
Nuggery and Canyon are trying their best to send Showmaker home as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
They're good brothers.
Okay, Caulfield's Warhammer actually
no.
completed here for Nuggery, as Rich is dead again. No
He has
surprise.
Flash.
Yeah, well, Blade of the Ruin King was used. He's just slicing and dicing. Having just a really good time, but Rich gets himself into the brush here.
Run away!
Big, scary crocodile is still chasing. Showmaker wanting some of the gold.
Nuggery is 3.3k gold ahead of his top
Oh,
laner.
the sneaky devil!
Wow.
As he's still out of vision, by the way, guys.
This is, you know, he's very good at running.
That was cute.
Props.
That was real cute. Even gets back to the minion wave. There's no turret, so Rich is gonna have to run.
Nuggery's still chasing him.
Oh man.
Never ends.
Yeah, Nuggery doesn't have flash, Rich does, so Rich is gonna be a bit safer. But he's still 50 CS behind at 12 minutes. And Shock Blasts are now starting to hurt. In that mid lane also, very close to a Rod of Ages. We'll see when Canyon's going to be able to complete that. He's 4-0-2 on the Nidalee, which is pretty good.
Might get some votes from media because he's got that one extra kill. So definitely got to look out for that when it does come to the player of the game vote. But
I'm not going to lie,
aside,
I think Canyon almost deserves
jokes
it.
aside, it's both of them again.
Yeah, right.
It's the two of them coming together, and Canyon's timing on the gank was good.
And if you remember, it was actually the player of the game from summer of 2019 was Canyon, in fact, who has now started to step up towards the end of 2020 as well.
I remember when... Oh,
all right, that's a large amount of buttons pressed onto Ghost, who is going to Arcane Shift out, flashes, Canyon comes on over, and is going to be able to keep him alive. Now, Nuggery has found the Ashe. The Gangplank does manage to get the kill on the Ezreal, but he's trying to jump off Summoner's Rift right now. He's trying to get it out, but you actually can't press the buttons over that wall. And so Alcove or no, the Lux is well and truly dead. So a 2-for-1, as Ghost did also fall, as we're going to have a look at the replay here of Beyond falling down. Good avoidance there of the spear, but we know what's going to happen. As the bubble missing, I think, was the last nail.
I don't know why he's turning around there. Like, he is very far behind. He's up against the Nidalee. Kind of countered himself in the jungle pick, which we were talking about in the draft. All this damage, and Ghost was still able to survive. Gets healed here at the last second, would have died to last tick, and then gets killed by GT anyway.
He got very close to getting out of the way there, but...
Had to use the Cannon Barrage at least, as Renekton is just, I mean, this is like the Godzilla movie where Godzilla wins. Yeah. Are there any movies like that? Any Godzilla movies where Godzilla just destroys the city and, like, is happy at the end?
I mean, Godzilla's like a good guy in one of them.
Like,
yeah,
what is
Godzilla
this?
just absolutely tearing the out.
What is this?
I don't know why there was a flash as Nuggery just walks up and kills him with Dominus in the end. The Gangplank also dies to the top side. As like we were talking about, that Rod of Age is already completed here from Canyon. He is mega far ahead, and this game is as over as it can possibly be. It's 15 minutes and there's an 8,000 gold lead. Like, yeah.
It's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those DWGN games, Atlas. It's.
I mean, the surrender vote at the moment is unanimous, 100%. As the arrow is going to glide gracefully away, and now Beyond, he's gonna man his inner turret.
He
and,
dodged.
Isn't necessarily safe there.
He dodged so much, and he used flash, but he still couldn't get away.
I mean, there's 4 people here, right? Like, it's just...
It's the DAMWON bulldozer right now. We are...
It's 11,000 gold. True Shot Barrage, Dr. He has to leave. He's extraordinarily low. More spears being looked for on the backside there from Canyon. And, yeah. I mean, Rich is about to get Flame Horizon by Noguri at 15 minutes.
yeah.
And look, like, Noguri's also building, like, lethality, snowball Renekton as
It's
well.
cute that they think they can fight Renekton.
I know, right?
You can't. You can't. It's not going to happen, guys.
Burst damage is just
Look at how many-
repugnant.
His autos are doing like
Yeah, it's like lethality Renekton. Oh, God.
insane amounts of damage every single auto. And yeah, they're just bullying them under turrets. They're diving too.
Oh, he's
Doesn't really
building
matter.
a blade of the... It's a Black Cleaver now.
Yeah.
That's no fun. I saw the extra...
Should have built an
Okay,
Infinity Edge.
Showmaker's going to find Beyond. Flashes the pillar, but Rich is going to turn up, and Showmaker does at least take the blue buff. It's a good pillar. 5,000 gold is Noguri's advantage. So there's that stat. Now Noguri just casually walking past these 2 solo laners. And Rich is going to get flashed on and murdered. This is just...
I almost cursed there.
It's so
this
rough.
is
Oh, in he
insane.
goes again! Underneath the turret, culling the Meek! And Noguri says, it's my damn player of the game! Come on, media, vote for me.
Well, he's got the most kills now.
All right, in
so-
goes Beryl, he's flashing forward. And the Shock Blast also going to connect. The Light Binding's pretty good there from Guga defensively.
Are they gonna-
But still, Dynamics are relegated to their fountain at 17 minutes into the game.
This is the least fun game that Team
my
Dynamics has ever played.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll tell you that right now in pro play. This does not feel good. As the losing team, man, this is decimation. It's not even close.
This is just... Okay, so the minion wave gets cleared out in the mid lane.
Just keep
There's
pushing.
that.
Got Shirley.
Oh god, they do that? What? Where is she?
Yeah, I think Canyon has her.
Oh no. I didn't see the golden pause. As Noguri is going to put down a control ward. He's trying to get out of
Okay.
here. There's the slow. No flash available, remember, as now Guga wants to find the light binding, and he walks into it. But now, Rich is in trouble. Final Spark will pick up the kill. And all of that juicy gold goes to the support Lux. All right, and Dr. also gets the big popcorn chicken.
the comeback.
Oh no, don't think so. Not just
Yeah,
yet.
8-1 now. Unacceptable. Could have had a perfect KDA, but now I might just have to vote for Ghost
Yeah.
this game.
No, it's Showmaker.
Yeah, well,
0-1.
look at him. He's just
I'll
running,
take it,
he's just running past. And let's listen to what he has to say. I'm very curious how he's feeling about all this.
Huh?
That's our translation, by the way, guys.
Yeah. And just means, yeah, basically, you know, like,
Yep. Basically means yes.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And then he gets killed.
Yeah, he does. He's not too
They
worried
took
about
down
it.
Godzilla in the end.
Yeah.
This is the happy ending, right, Team Dynamics?
He's back, by the way. And he also has a Black Cleaver now and a second Vampiric Scepter. Death Dance most likely being built towards. And the Renekton's massive. As is Showmaker, just quietly. Landing 3-man Shock Blasts.
Yeah. Just doing his thing. And Dominic, you could tell they're pretty angry they didn't end the game before at 17 minutes, so they're going to try to end it here at 19 minutes. Let's see if they can do it, Atlas. I'm pretty confident
Yeah,
they can, actually.
I think that if there's any lead that you can finish a game before 20 minutes on, it's probably a lead like this, but 20 seconds until that dream becomes less of a reality. As Dynamics, everyone's alive, but they're bleeding out underneath their Nexus turrets as they're desperately trying to get rid of these minions. Super creeps starting to make their way up the bottom lane. As you can see, DAMWON, they're just like, well, not going to push in just yet. Let's wait for the creeps. as Baron's going to spawn, and they may just take it right now.
Yeah, they can if they want. They could just go back and push again if they feel like it. But you could tell that they were a little apprehensive about just straight up diving turrets, even from this far ahead. Don't want to give anything over to the side of team. Oh no.
Oh no. This is
where
literally-
Godzilla comes out of the jungle instead of the
This is
instead
what
out of the
saltwater
ocean.
crocodiles do, dude. They
Yeah.
they wade in the reeds and then they sprint out.
Oh.
And there he goes. This is now a nature documentary. The gazelle getting absolutely obliterated
Oh.
by the lion. However,
The
the
hunter.
poacher is going to come through with a huge arrow of destiny, as Nogari's going to be able to take down the barrel and he'll get out. So the crocodile lives, but as does the gazelle. And yes,
Wow.
in this story, Gangplank is a gazelle.
We're saving the endangered species over
Yeah.
here in the LCK.
Sometimes,
so many
you know,
gangplanks have been killed.
Like, listen to David Attenborough talking about these animals that are definitely about to die, and they're really cute. Thankfully, this time around, it was a good news story. But when you're talking about the Gangplank as a gazelle, a helpless creature, then that's certainly a game state that you don't want if you're a Dynamics fan. As Beryl, he's going to do the best that he can to get Beyond out of here, but it's Showmaker that does most of that work. Now looking for another Shock Blast that'll kill Beyond, as the Baron should be taken. Beyond not going to get speared.
Look at Showmaker looking for the
That
angle.
final spark comes in.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Beyond is just going to be taken down, so there's no more smites. And it was level 13 to, I think, level 10, so it doesn't even really matter. It was never 50-50 because the smite did an extra approximately 200 damage. Canyon over the top. Showmaker here trying to corral. They don't have vision.
I loved the Hunter Showmaker looking for the angle.
Yeah.
Trying to take down the troll.
There's poachers on both sides.
I know.
Nogari walking in. Loosen Singularity just to slow down the minion wave, but this Nexus turret's dead. Oh, and DAMWON will crash through, take this one down. It's 22 minutes into the game, and it's well and truly over. 14,000 gold is the lead. That gold lead at 20 stat that we saw before is only going to be inflated now as Arrow, nicely avoided by DAMWON. And I don't think Dynamics have any chance of stopping this. You can see that Nexus turret is not long for the world. Flash forward there from Nogari. He'll take whichever target he can get, and he'll look at the Lux first. And just crashes on through. Beryl will probably die, but he flashes out, and he's going to keep himself alive. The Inspired Shield comes in. Nogari, huge healing as he slices, dices, and chops up the Pirate. Ghost just trying to land some Mystic shots, and they're going to give up on the Nexus for the moment. They want to be able to grab as many kills as they can. Showmaker misses the Shock Blast, though, and that's going to be that. DAMWON with a very swift 2-0. An understandable one, but the way they did it was definitely entertaining. Nogari's Crocodile, my goodness.